Hi creative friends, this is Freya and thank you so much for being here. So I am going to get back to this portrait, but I applied oil sticks on here, so I have to allow it to completely dry before I can work over top of it. So today I'm just taking a break from my mixed media portraits for that very reason, and I am diving right into this very exciting way of working. So I posted this on my shorts yesterday, but what I am doing is I am using these collages that I made probably about a month or so ago, and I made videos on this, and I made these basically for learning purposes to explore a neutral color palette to focus more on values, and I will put the links to those videos in the description to this video. But basically what I did is I picked one of these collages and I am working off of it, and this is a really exciting and interesting way to work because this is my visual language. Like, I made these collages from scratch, so everything on here, every color, line, mark, etc., is all mine 100%. So what I'm doing is I am just using this as a jumping off point to create a layout in this particular art journal. So as you can see, there are a lot of similarities, like, say, you know, this kind of, all these like oval marks here, right over here, this, you know, over here, these three dots over here, this over here, and the color palette, you know, is, as you can see, like, you can look at this and see, like, wow, yeah, they do look very similar. It's interpreted in a different way, but you know, this is like really interesting and exciting for me to work like this. And I absolutely love these collages because there's just so much to learn from them, so many different ways to work off of them. And, you know, I could work off of that one. I could work off of all of these. And, you know, you can work off them in different ways. Now, I don't think I'm going to keep the entire palette as is, and what I mean by that is I am going to modify this a bit, but I'm still using this as my kind of jumping off point to anchor me. So if I get too off course, I'm just going to kind of go like this and say, hey, you know, do I want to keep this, do I want to get rid of this, etc. And I also want to thank you guys for letting me know that when I said, hey, I'm using this journal to talk about me healing my ancestral trauma, intergenerational trauma, and I got quite a few messages that said, yes, you guys were very interested. So thank you so much, because that really helps me out. So I'm going to think about how best to put a video together. But this video is not that. This is about, it's still in the same journal. I'm still keeping all those, you know, the intentions of me healing and all of that. But in this video, I'm talking about replicating or using this as inspiration, my collages, for the spread. So I hope that's not too confusing and I've kind of explained it properly. So what I'm doing with this journal is I am using Tamil script, and I've talked about this before, but I started doing this actually a really long time ago when I first I don't want to say when I first started painting, but as soon as I started getting more stronger in my visual language and, you know, what have you, I started incorporating Tamil script in my work because it's a way of me reclaiming my mother language, which I have lost, my mother tongue. So because this is about ancestors and ancestral trauma, intergenerational, I want to say really trauma is what it is. I am incorporating it in a different way, and I'm also being a lot more conscious of it. And one of the sad things is I have to be very careful with how I use this because I don't have a lot of it. It's not like I can just go and, you know, purchase it somewhere. It's very hard for me to come by this, but that is going to work to my advantage because I'm gonna really think 2 and 3 and 4 times before I use it. Like, it's going to be used in such a sparing way, and it kind of symbolically is echoing the fact that, you know, when something is really, really valuable, you use it very sparingly. And this is extremely valuable to me. So it kind of all works out to my advantage in that way. Like, I wish I had like a ton of these newspapers with this Tamil script, but I don't. But like I said, I'm gonna make it work to my advantage. So what I'm gonna do is I am just going to see, like, what do I want to keep and what do I want to maybe change a little bit. You know, I'm still gonna kind of keep that color scheme, but I think I am gonna go with a dark blue here, either with the background or like one of the dresses, because I don't like so much of the white. It's just a bit too much for me. So like I said, it is the inspiration, but what's exciting is I'm also going to kind of you know, flesh it out a little bit and add some more stuff. And one of the things that I want to point out is when you are working on a piece this small, whether it's, you know, a collage, whether it's a painting, whether it's for educational purposes, whether it's, you know, you're actually creating small art, when you work in a smaller size, it changes everything when you now try to replicate that onto a larger surface. And I have a small Fabriano journal that's like, I don't know what the measurements are, but it's actually very tiny. And what I realized when I started working in that journal is you do have to change how you configure the page. Like, your composition is going to alter. Like, that's just a fact. So I have to keep that in mind as well. Like, I'm using this as inspiration, but I am working on a larger surface as well. So what might look really good on this small piece of paper is going to be very different. That's not going to translate 100% onto this, because even if I had to translate it 100%, it wouldn't hold the same weight because it is a different size. So I hope I'm conveying that properly. And if you guys have any questions, like, please don't hesitate to ask, because, you know, I think I'm explaining it like in a way that, like, I understand, but maybe maybe I need to kind of like expand on it a little bit or whatever. So I am going to use this for the background. I'm just kind of feeling it. And I really like this little splotch of red, so I'm gonna leave that. And if I want to cover it up later, I can. And with this ink, you guys, it's just some leftover ink that I had. It's calligraphy ink, and I really love it. But, you know, use what you have. I have so many art supplies, and I was gonna put in an order of art supplies that I need, but what I decided to do is I am going to use what I have, because I've got like so much. And instead of like buying more stuff, I'm just gonna use what I have, and that's gonna force me to, you know, expand my color palette, be more creative, whatever it is. Okay. So while I work here, you guys, I'm going to talk about something else. Another thing, and this relates to what I was talking about in my mixed media portraits, is I am going to make a video on how to set up a still life, because there are particular ways that you can get the most out of it, and I'm just going to share what I have learned. Like how to set the lighting up so you get the best shadows, etc., etc. So I am working on that, because I do think that working from real life is the absolute best way to get better at drawing. And then even when you go to copy something from a print, like a book or something like that, a photograph, it's just going to strengthen your drawing skills so much, and you will notice it actually. Okay. And I think I'm going to put another layer of the ink over here because I just want it to be really dark. I want to bring in some like really dark values here. And I think I'm just gonna drag that through there. And now what I am going to do is, see, I do want to lay some of this collage, but I also need this to dry completely. So what I would like to stress, you guys, is that, you know, it doesn't have to be your collage. Like, I made this for a very specific reason. I made all these little bits and pieces, which I absolutely love, by the way, you guys. And they just, I mean, it's so playful. It's such an addictive process, and it's all play, and experiments and curiosity. So it immediately puts me in beginner's mind. But it doesn't have to be something like this. You can take anything that you have, whether you created it or whether like a favorite artist of yours has created it. So just say you really love Van Gogh. Well, you can pick one of his paintings, like say Starry Night, and you can use that as the seeds of inspiration. So seeds are potential. They're not the fully formed whatever it is. So you can take all the seeds from that painting or photograph, or it could be like, say, an art journal spread you yourself created and you really love it. You can take the seeds of that and you can plant it in new ways, and you can, you know, add different things to it. You can alter it, modify it, you can subtract from it. There's just an infinite amount of ways that you can use either these collage pieces, if you do make them, or your own art, or even your favorite artists. And looking through these, like, I love so many of these. You know, the color palette, the lines, the proportion of the colors. And it's all in my own visual language because I made it. So this is all mine. And so, like, you know, I can take the seeds of this and I can just use it to create in an endless number of ways. So anyways, you guys, if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.